Good evening, everyone. And if this is your first time here, you are highly, highly, highly welcome. And tonight we are having an honest conversation, a much needed conversation about burnout, boundaries, and balance, practical steps to navigating stress. I mean, especially in this world that we are now. If today is your first time joining us, you are very, very welcome. We are so happy to have you here. Please, you can say hi in the chat and tell us where you're watching from. And do well to send this link to your friends and family because trust me, after this conversation, you're definitely not going home the same because you are going to leave your power packed. And if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do well to subscribe. So I'm not here alone. Today with me, I have Mrs. Gloria Oluchi Ita. She is a psychological therapist, and I'll give her the floor to actually introduce herself. So, Mrs. Gloria, it's good to have you here once again. Please let's meet you.
Hi, Jemima. Good evening. How are you
Hi,
doing
good
today?
evening. Fine, thank you.
All right. My name is Gloria. My name is Gloria Olichita, and I am a clinical psychologist by practice, a trauma therapist and addiction therapist as well. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad to be here this evening.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so last week I actually sent some surveys to ask people based on the topic we had if they had any questions. I mean, a lot is happening in this country these days. So many things is happening, trying to navigate this fast-paced world of ours, and we're able to get some responses which I want us to treat today. But before then, I don't know if you'd like to say something about the topic that we are actually talking about tonight. Maybe something like a brief introduction or what's anything about burnout or what we need to know regarding the topic.
Okay. Our topic is burnout, boundaries, and stress management, right? All right. So when we talk about the stress management and burnout, it's something that we face every day. It's not a new topic, right? Because as people working, people who go through day-to-day lifestyle and all, we all face burnout. We all face stress. Now, the interesting thing to note about the topic is that we're not talking about stress eradication. We're not talking about how to remove stress, right? But we're talking about how to manage stress because as people, as we go through our daily lives, stress is something that we get to interface with. So you can't totally remove stress from your life.
Mm,
However, what we can do is that we learn to manage stress. So stress management is key, right? And when we talk about stress management, there are two kinds of stress, right? One of the stress is the good stress, which is also known as the eustress. And that is the stress that you get from maybe when you exercise. Because exercise, I started going to the gym sometime this year, and I can tell you that it's not an easy journey, right? Exercise is some form of stress, right? But it's a good stress, right? Because your body needs that. We go through every day. I mean, you hear people say, oh, as a person, it's not okay to sit for long. You need to stand up, you need to take a walk, you need to do all that. All those things are stress, but they are all
mm,
good stress because they help your body to function optimally. But the kind of stress we're talking about now is the negative stress, which is the stress that leads to burnout, basically. The stress
mm,
that can affect your, everyday functioning. And that's the stress that we keep hammering on that people need to, learn how to manage. All other kinds of stress are the positive stress and they are good for your body, right? So yeah. So understanding what your stressors are would be like the first thing to look at when you're thinking about managing your stress level. Because if you don't know what is stressing you, what is causing your stress, you will just be functioning every day, with feeling so overwhelmed and so burnt out, right? So yeah, so I think in summary, I saw and I know actually that people have a lot of interest when it comes to stress management because at work everywhere people are especially now, right? I feel like being living in Nigeria, especially living in Lagos State in Nigeria, can really be
it's
stressful
a
because
lot.
the
Yes.
whole activities, and all can make people burnt out. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
True. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So now to the questions that people asked. Um so how do you control your being too available for people even when you are not comfortable with it, but you can't say no to them?
Ah, okay, interesting. Okay, when it comes to saying no to people, there's something I always say. I always say that you literally need to go to China and import no. I make that as a joke, right? But it's seriously what it is. Because the truth of it is, if you want to please people, right? You
Mm,
can't you can't please people and 100% and be sane 100%. You have to choose one, right? Because life will make demands on you. Things will make demands on you. Now, saying no to people should be something that you are intentional about. All
mm,
right, something that you are intentional about. So the first thing first, ask yourself, these things that you're asking me for, you know, is it something that I can do? And yes, if
mm,
it's something you can do, how does it affect me? Now, going ahead to do this, how does it affect me? Right?
mm,
Because sometimes we need to realize that. I was talking to a group of women recently, and one thing I was saying to them is that you need to sometimes what you need to help you is knowing that when people demand for your time, all you need to do sometimes is just say sorry. Just say sorry, I can't help, or just say, oh, sorry, show your empathy. But you don't necessarily need to be there presently to actually help them. And then there is the place for compromise, right? The place where you actually compromise and decide to go the extra mile to help people, but you must learn the balance. So saying no is very important, and saying no to things that you know. Okay, so the easiest way to start, right? Because now I'm saying no, and some of us people, I mean, the person who asked this question is obviously struggling and needs to
yes,
know. start
definitely.
by start by saying, I'll get back to you. Start by
Mm,
not giving an answer immediately, because sometimes we overcommit. When people come to us and say, oh, I need you to do this, you go ahead and say yes, only for you to realize that it's not convenient. So you could
mm,
start by saying, I'll get back to you. Let me get back to you on this. Sometimes I intentionally just say, oh, you know what, let me get back to you on this.
mhm,
Then before I go back and say, oh, sorry, I can't. And then if I go back and I think about it and I feel like it's something that I can actually do, I would go ahead and say yes to it. But you don't need to put yourself under that burden of wanting to say no. Because the truth is, if you are not there to do it, those people will most likely, most people that are called, most times people that call you to ask for you to do things for them, they usually have like three, four, five options. They have options, right? They're just one of the options. And there are some people
mm,
that you know
true.
that genuinely they actually need you, right? So then that's it. And then someone who is struggling with people pleasing, you would need to build your assertiveness skill. Assertiveness is
Mm,
the ability to speak about how you're feeling without necessarily hurting others. It's different from
mhm,
being aggressive, because some people will say, oh, I speak my mind, I'm assertive. Sometimes you might be aggressive. Assertiveness is that's the way to let people know how you're feeling truthfully and in a calm way that doesn't really affect them, right? But then you go ahead and let them know how you're feeling. All right.
okay, thank you so much. So, in addition to what Mrs. Gloria said, I tell people that you cannot please people and displease yourself. It's important that you come first. It's important that you think of yourself too as well. If it's okay to say no when you are not comfortable. So, if you notice, I'm sure for you to ask this question, it simply means you are not comfortable. So it's okay to say, as you know, you are okay with it. You shouldn't displease yourself just to please others. Thank you so much for that, Mrs. Gloria. So let me move to the second question. So the person says, how can I balance my academic life and personal life? Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can. So balancing academic
Okay.
life and personal life, it seems it's quite vague, right? The question is vague because I would actually need um more I mean, I'll need to ask you more details about that question to actually know how best to answer. When you say personal life, what do you mean? Are you a part-time student that is also, maybe doing business or something, and doing a part-time course? Are you a full-time student that that wants to manage your life? So it's the question is really vague, right? But basically, when we talk about work-life balance, now I'm going to use that to explain this. Sometimes we talk about work-life balance. Sometimes we talk about balance, basically academic life balance. Let me use that. It's basically juggling every aspect of your life. Now, as a human being, we all have different aspects of our life. There's our relationships, right? Okay, give me a moment.
Okay, hope we are taking something down. So before she comes up, I'll just say this. So it's just knowing how to balance your academic life and personal life. Okay, she's back.
Yeah, sorry. Don't like Nigeria happen to you.
Okay,
Okay, so it's basically understanding what that balance would mean for you. Like I said before, we all have different aspects of our life. We have our family, right? Whether you're married or whether you're single, you have your family. If you're married, you have your kids, your children. Can you hear me? Are you there? Oh, okay.
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So there is family.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So there's family, there's your relation. Okay. Okay. There's family, there's relationship, there is you have a relationship, you have your work or your academic, whichever that is. You have your financial life. There are different aspects of your life, right? So creating that balance is actually making sure that you do something for each of that. Because the truth is, when we talk about work-life balance, for example, it almost seems like, oh, it's on a scale and both of them are on the same level. The truth is that they are not all going to be on the same level. You will need to juggle different things. So work-life balance or academic and life balance, what is really is your ability to juggle different aspects of your life without dropping the ball at any point. So you can't be failing in the academic. Okay, so I'll give an example. When I was in school, my uni days, I was in the fellowship. If you've done school fellowship, right, especially if you're a leader in school fellowship, you could know that it can be overwhelming, right? Because the fellowship life would actually require you to do a lot. We do a lot of videos. Sometimes we travel, and we have, all those things going on for us. That's for the that's for that fellowship aspect. Your academic as well, you have to do well. I have to do my assignments, do my 10 papers and every other thing that school life requires as well. Now the balance is making sure that none is affecting the other. So for example, you have an exam the next day and then you decide that you're going to go for fellowship video. Obviously that's not wisdom. That's not
Hmm.
wisdom, because you need to be in school and your primary thing for being in school is to pass. So at that point in time, you would know the times where you need to prioritize. For me, I think one thing
Yeah.
that helped me to navigate that period was when school is not busy, I tried to, read. I tried to read. I had my study groups. I had to plan my academics in a way that suits me. For example, I don't miss classes because I know that if I miss classes, it's going to help me, it's going to make me struggle to catch up. So as much as possible, I try to attend all my classes. I had some study partners around me that were helping me to, study, understand. So may help me to, when I don't, when I think at some point I was even having to teach people certain things. Like I had a group of people that would tutor based on what we have taught, because I realized that also teaching also kind of helped me to even do well in my academics. So know what works for you. There is no one rule that fits everybody. The first thing is know how best do you learn. How do you learn? What does learning mean to you, and how do you understand things? Because how you understand might be different from other people. I had a lot of my classmates then going for night class. I knew night class was not for me. The only day I went for night class, I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't read. I was just looking at everybody. And I just knew that going for night class was not for me. And I never went there. I didn't go. I went only once, and that day I didn't do anything. I went to go and observe what was going on. I never went again. So know what works for you, know how best you learn, and know when to prioritize which one is more important to you, your academic or your personal life. Each time, one might be needing one of your attention more than the other. For example, let's say, let me still use the school fellowship example. When I was in school, those fellowship, there were times in my fellowship where we had programs, like maybe we were planning like a concert or something. At that point in time, I knew that fellowship would probably need my attention a lot. Then what do I do at that time? I make sure that before that time, I have done something for my academics so that I don't miss so much. And then even while I'm planning the concert or something, I try to, find a way to balance it out by finding extra time to actually put into my academics so that I can balance both of them. So you need to find the balance. There's no rule that fits everybody, but know what works for you and just find your balance.
Thank you so much. So just like she said, know what works for you and just find a balance. So the second question here is the third question says, how do I navigate this world? It seems like a lot is expected and you feel you're just stagnant. What do I do from here when I feel stagnant in life?
Okay. So first things first, you are not alone. As in just clear it out that you're not the only person. I've been there. We've all been there. And there are times when I we literally feel that way, right? Especially when you have expectations for yourself. Like you have plans, you have goals. And sometimes, of course, the world is not exactly giving us what we ask of it, right? And sometimes it can feel that way, like, oh, I need more time, or there are things that I needed to be doing now and I have not done. So don't feel alone, right? I've been there. There were periods in my life where I used to be really sad. And what made me start was just thinking that, oh, by now, at this age, I thought I would have been doing this, because of course, I didn't have a very, very, very fast beginning. At the earlier stage of my life, I struggled. From secondary school to entry the university, I had to stay at home for a while. So there was a lot of that. So I just felt like, imagine let me just give a story. So I got into school my first year, and then I was in school, and then I met a classmate, like a schoolmate, right, which was also someone from my secondary school. She was my classmate in secondary school, and I met her in school. And I went and I hugged her, hey girl, now with happiness that, oh, we all both got admission. And then she tells me that, oh, actually, I'm on my way to go and see my project supervisor. She was in her final year. I was in first year. I just got admission. She was going in school. I felt bad. I felt heartbroken. At that point in my life, I thought that, my God, like
She's doing
I
better
felt
than you.
really bad. You get? I felt like she was doing better than me. I felt like I had lost time, right? I felt like there were things I should have been doing that I wasn't doing at that time, and it was not a good place to be, right? But later one thing that helped me is realizing that sometimes they say when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade happy. Things might not
Of
always
course, yes.
happen. Things might not always happen the way you plan them, right? But make
Yes.
sure that you are still focusing on the things that really matter. If you stay dwelling on that worry, or staying dwelling on that feeling that, oh, I'm not doing much, it might actually prevent you from doing the things that you need to do. Always remember that where you are right now is not where you were before. Even though
True,
you feel like you are stagnant, if you're being
true.
honest with yourself, you'll find out that something has changed, right? So even though I wasn't in school, I had 4 years to be at home. I was not in the university. Yeah, it seemed like maybe I was stagnant at that time. I was not in school. But there were other things that were happening for me. I built capacity in many areas, right? And I noticed it because when I got to school, I knew that I was different from many other people that probably just finished secondary school and got into school. Because I mean, a lot of experience. I had a lot of experience. So many things that happened in my life. I had the opportunity to work. I've had the opportunity to gain some other experiences, even though it didn't seem like that was what I wanted at that time.
Wanted. Yeah.
But celebrate your small wins. Show yourself some love. You are doing the best you can at the moment. Celebrate the small wins that you have. Just show yourself some compassion. If if it was someone else that was going through what you're going through, you probably will have something positive to say to that person. Now it's
True,
time
true.
for you
I
to say
agree.
that to yourself, that you are doing what you can. Make sure that your goals, you're staying focused on your goals. And if you
Mm-hmm.
feel like what you planned out is not really working, it's okay to go back to your drawing board and say, okay, this plan is not working. Let me think about
Mm-hmm.
something else to do. It's okay to start afresh. There's nothing like being too late to start afresh. You can start afresh
Mm,
at
true.
single point in your life. But the question is, do you have the courage to? So yeah, go ahead and do what you need to do. Do it afraid, do it feeling unsure, do it feeling uncertain, right? But go ahead and do it. And just make sure that you don't give up hope and you still continue pushing, because one day is going to pay off. One day is going to pay off. Every time I felt like that, I felt stagnant. I usually have these opportunities that just come for me, that just made me feel know that something big has happened for me and it has helped me. So don't worry, just you'll be fine. I don't know if I can say you'll be fine. I don't know if you'll be fine, but I know that it gets better with time. Just keep pushing.
All right, thank you so much. So there's something I would like.
Yes, I can. I can.
I'm so sorry. My network. Okay, so someone said how to navigate the. Okay, no, I read that. Wouldn't it be nice if it was possible to exist the world at will? Hmm.
Mhm.
This person is already thinking suicidal. So I really don't know what point in life this person that asked this question is currently is. So, but before I say something, but then I would like you to like probably address this, ma.
Okay. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but whoever you are, suicide is never the answer, right? Suicide is never the answer. And when you say, won't it be nice for one to be able to exit this world? I'm wondering what's going on in your mind and what's going on around you. Remember that you can always get the support that you need if you only will speak up and talk to someone about it. I don't know how tough it is. Sometimes, oftentimes, it almost seem like there is no hope, or we don't know the way forward. But you need to keep hanging on there, right? You need to keep hanging there. Sometimes it might be as a result of exhaustion, or maybe you're just feeling a lot of emotional pain. Maybe something has happened in your life and you can't seem to get past it. But you need to know that um it gets better with time. But you need to reach out to someone. I don't know who you are, but please reach out to someone, reach out to any of the admin, or how you were able to send this message, reach out to the team, and I'm sure that someone will reach out to you and help you to get the support that you need. Right? Suicide is never the answer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Gloria. So whoever you are, please reach out to us. You can send us a message. Help is available here. Trust me, suicide is not the option. There's so much in store for you. There's so much. If only you can just have a little hope. It's not
Yeah.
the end, right? It's not the end. Like, it's not the end at all. You are not alone. Whatever it is you're struggling with, whatever it is you're dealing with, suicide is not even an answer. It's not an option. So you
Yeah.
shouldn't consider it. Trust me, there's so much in life. Do you know if you're going to become the next president of Nigeria to make Nigeria a better place for us? We will not have to be, I mean, you know how Nigeria is. But you don't know what is in store for you. So please don't give up. And if you need someone to talk to, please reach out to us. Thank you. So another question says, does everyone need therapy? Does everyone need therapy?
Well, not everyone can benefit from therapy, right? Everyone can benefit from therapy. However, everyone may not need therapy at the same time, right? There are times in our lives when we need someone to talk to. So, first of all, everyone needs support. So, we all need support in our life, some kind of support in our life. However, we may not all need therapy at the same time or at a particular time in our life. So we need to find out that. So the important thing is to know that for everyone is to know that you may need help, right? And when you need help, you need to seek help. There was a time in my life when I needed therapy as well. oh 20, that was 20, I think that was about 2016 ish. I was dealing with serious depression and I had to talk to a therapist. And people were asking that, ah, but you're a therapist. Yes, even your therapist sometimes needs another therapist. So sometimes we need people outside ourselves. I mean, I don't need therapy now, but I needed therapy at that time, and it was a genuine need, right, at that time. So we might not all need therapy. Everyone might need therapy at some point in their life. So it's your ability to recognize when you need help outside yourself and your ability to seek that help that makes the difference, right?
Hmm. Thank you. So I tell people, I describe therapy as like when we go to the dentist to take care of our teeth. We don't do that all the time, right? Like if you want to go scale and polish your teeth, you only do that because you want your teeth to stay healthy. It's not like it's compulsory, right? But it's something that is you're supposed to do just to make that to make sure your teeth are okay and you don't have any bad breath. So that's what therapy is. There are most times you go through to navigate this world, you are struggling. Most times you just need someone to talk to. You just want to rant. You just want to pour out how you feel. And your friend is not your therapist. People always do that and say,
Yes,
okay, I can talk to my friend.
exactly.
Your friend.
Very important, very, very important to note that. So therapy is something that, as in that anyone can benefit from. There are times in your life when you genuinely need to talk to somebody. There are times in your life when it is very important that you reach out outside yourself. For me, I would say that just like, I mean, just have the contact of a therapist handy.
Professionals.
And
That's
going to, sorry, Mama, I can you hear me? Okay. So sometimes it seems like why do I need to talk to somebody? I'm not crazy. I don't have a mental health problem. But you don't need to wait until you have gotten to the
Gloria,
point
can you hear
where,
me? Yeah, therapists are your therapists know what they are doing. They've been built to actually listen. They've been built to help you navigate life. Okay, we can hear you now. I can see your back. You were saying something.
yes, because we lost you for a while. So I was talking about the therapy today. And I was saying that sometimes people feel like, oh, am I crazy? When you say, oh, you need to talk to a therapist, you have to say, like, ah, am I crazy? Are you crazy? Is that why you need to say that? You don't need to be crazy, right? For you, crazy in quotes, right? Before you go see a therapist, it could be that you're facing a difficult time and you just need someone that is unbiased, that's professional, and can ask you the right questions to talk to. And it's okay to do that. I have people from time, I'm a therapist, but I still have some therapists in my space that I talk to sometimes when things are, I feel like I'm some things I don't understand. There are people in my life that I reach out to say, what do you think? What do you think about this? This is what I'm going
Mm-hmm.
through. I just want to hear an opinion from another person, because obviously, if I am still thinking the way I'm thinking and I'm not getting the results, it's okay to talk to somebody outside myself
True.
sometimes
Yeah.
to give me clarity to say, oh, okay, have you tried this? Or have you looked at it this way? Now, just getting that second perspective from someone who is objective,
Mm-hmm.
right? And someone who is a professional, who is non-judgmental, and who can be objective in thinking about that situation can actually give you the clarity that you need
You need.
on that
True.
topic. Yeah. So it's easier, it's even better to reach out when it's just that kind of situation until when it's than when it's now a problem, like you are now
Mm-hmm.
experiencing a full breakdown or something. It's always easier to, get the help early enough.
Thank you so much, Gloria. So it's okay to seek therapy. Go for therapy. If you feel you are handling a lot or you are
Mhm.
struggling, please seek help. Seek help. You don't necessarily, and funny enough, there's some, we've made at Amani Health, we've made it very affordable. You don't need to like spend so much. Just there are people there that they are there to listen to you. So please seek therapy. It's actually very, very good. Okay, so someone said, how do I live a balanced life without feeling guilty?
Balance life without feeling guilty. I don't exactly understand that question, but I think
Okay,
it's
so
relating
I
to,
think I
yeah.
so what I actually understand is, there are some people that you just feel like you are not giving yourself, okay, you are not giving yourself enough, right? And most times people take rest and they are feeling guilty that, oh, I'm not supposed to have taken this rest. And
Oh,
yeah, so people take rest and they're like just feeling bad for themselves. That, oh, that's okay. So they're having a balance life and they are feeling guilty. They're enjoying themselves and they're feeling guilty that, okay, I'm not supposed to do this. So I think that's where the angle the person is coming from. So how can he or she balance a life without having to feel like, okay, am I too relaxed? Am I supposed to be resting? Am I supposed to take a break? So I think it's from that angle.
on a lighter note, they did not swear for you. Let me just say that, right? There is nothing wrong with prioritizing yourself. In fact, sometimes we think that rest is a luxury. Rest is not and should not be a luxury. Rest
Mm-hmm.
is part of your functioning. Rest is part of what makes you function, basically.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't rest, if you don't take out time for yourself, you're going to burn out.
Mm-hmm.
Mind what
True.
I said. I didn't say you may burn out. I say you are going
You're
to burn
going
out
to burn out.
because you need it. You need it to
Yeah.
recharge. Your body needs it biologically. There's a need. There's a reason why night is important. At night, we naturally shut down to sleep. Whether you want it or not, when you're at night, you feel tired sometimes, except you're going through some form of insomnia. The natural tendency for human being is to sleep. And even when after you've gone through maybe series of stressful moments, your body gives you this shutdown power nap thing. You know, that time when you are sitting out somewhere, you just shut down and you just sleep for 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes just feels like you have slept for like 20 hours or so. That's your body telling you that you need to rest. Rest is important. Rest is not a luxury. Balance is important for you to function. That's what I talked about when I was talking about work-life balance or academic and life balance, is that there is the balance we're talking about here is juggling every aspect of your life. Make sure that you are doing something for every aspect of your life. You have a family, right? Make sure you're paying attention to your family. You're giving them some time. You might not be with your family every single time, but make sure that you are spending quality time and you are prioritizing, you're scheduling that, you're making sure that once in a while you reach out to them, you show them that love. If you have a relationship, relationships needs to be felt for them to grow. So you need to give it time. You need to give that communication. You need to show empathy. You need to do what is important as well for your relationship. Same as your finances. If you're working and working and working and you're not saving money, you're going to go broke, right? Or you wake up one day and you realize that you've been working for so long and then you have not had anything to show for it. If it's about your what other aspect now, career, if you don't develop your career, if you don't develop your career, if you're not taking courses that you need to do, if you're not getting promoted at work, if you're not, going to the next level in your career, you're going to get up, you're going to get burnt out, you're going to get overwhelmed, and it's going to affect you mentally as well. So it's important for your growth. It's important for you as a person to be stable by creating that balance in every aspect of your life. You shouldn't feel bad. Most times the problem is that we tend to think about every other person apart from ourselves. Self-care is not selfishness. You need to understand that there's a difference between taking care of yourself and being selfish. And taking care of yourself will mean sometimes prioritizing your health. Prioritizing your health, it might mean taking some time off. I am not afraid to negotiate the things that I know that are important for my future. I used to do that before, where I just accept anything everybody gives to me, I just take it because I'm trying to feel everybody better. But I realized that at the end of the day, it doesn't help me. And you, who is the person who you think that you are the messiah or you're the one trying to solve everybody's problem apart from yours, if you break down, what happens to you, every other person? You can only give what you have, and you can't give what you don't have. So you need to pay attention to yourself as well. Prioritize your sleep, prioritize your feeding, prioritize your health, prioritize your growth, career development, personal development, personal. You need to think about yourself as well. Think about how you can grow and take out time and be better, because it's only when you are better that you can actually be of value, of any value to the people around you. Because trust me, if all you do is, focusing on other people and you're not prioritizing yourself, when you eventually experience that burnout, there'll be nobody there that can help. So eventually, you would need to prioritize your own health, prioritize your mental health, prioritize what's going on with you so that you can actually have thrive, right? The whole essence of being a person and having this conversation is to raise people that are thriving, right? Things are a lot. There are a lot of things that as an adult I've learned that is going to take your time. A lot of things would, would demand your time, would demand your attention. But your ability to be able to compartmentalize these things and know that these are some of the things that are important to me and these are the things that are not important are very important, right? Some things are important and are key to your well-being as a person. And it's important that you are paying attention to those things. So yes, don't feel bad when you feel like shutting down and you want to go and have fun. Don't feel bad. You need it to survive. You need it to survive. It's part of what makes you complete. It's part of what gives you a reset. Because sometimes we go through, like me now, this year, I've been through a lot. I was talking to my colleagues, I was saying that, man, this year has been tough. Like, there's been a lot going on, both at work, in my personal life, and all. And it seems like I've been from one thing to another. My dear, some days I just shut down. I take out time and say, this today I'm going to enjoy myself. And I put my phone on flight mode. Feel like coming from night, block my calendars for booking a session. Nobody should book any session because there is how you will book session, and even your therapist will be angry with you. So to avoid that, you have to, right? Sometimes
Hmm.
take out that time, pay attention to yourself, do something that makes you happy. You know, if all you do is shut down for a day to sleep, my dear, you have done well, if that's what your body needs. But do not feel bad or feel guilty anytime that you are doing something for your mental health, you are doing something for your well-being. No, never feel sorry for that or feel bad about that because you deserve it. You matter too. Like you are equally as important as every other person in your life or every other thing in this world that you are trying to, be there for. You are equally as important. So yeah, be there for yourself. Yeah. I can't hear you.
Yes, you heard that. Be there for yourself. Okay, so someone said, is feeling pressure normal, or is it just an inferiority complex thing?
Mm. Okay. Whether feeling pressured is normal or is an inferiority
Can
complex
you hear
thing.
me?
Yes, yes, yes. I can't hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear
Okay.
me?
So let me go ahead and just respond to your question. Your line is breaking a bit, but I'll just go ahead because yes, I heard you. So when it comes to pressure, right? There are two types of pressure. There is in fact, I don't think there are two types of pressure. I think all kinds of pressure is basically how you're thinking about it, right? Because I'm not even sure if except somebody is direct. Okay, yes, there can be self-inflicted pressure and there could be pressure coming from maybe people, society, family members. I mean, once upon a time, before I got married, I used to be single, and then you hear comments from friends or family members say, "Oh, when are you going to get married? You have graduated from school. Didn't you get anybody? Are you not going to get married?" And then marriage comes, and then people are like,
Mhm.
now wow, you don't marry since now, and when you not go born, you not go born, you not go born. That one comes, and then you give birth, have one child, and then they're asking, and now wow, this your baby is now big. Go. When are you going to have another one? The truth is, see, people would always say things. People would always comment on things. Now, it's one thing for people to say. I know that when people say things like that, sometimes you think about them and then they put some kind of pressure on you and you're asking yourself, oh, when will this happen for me? And oh, one thing you should understand is that we're all different. There's nobody marking this register. We're not doing competition for who carry first for these things because one thing I've learned in life is that people go through stuff. So there are people that got married very, very early, right, in life, and you find out that years into marriage, they don't even have children and somebody else didn't marry on time, and then the person just married and immediately the person has a child, and the person has a child even faster than the person has gotten married since. Or one person has children and the children grow up to teenagers, and then something bad happens and something happens or something does not happen. See, we all have different it's going to happen differently for everybody. right? And when pressures are coming, pressures are always going to come. And sometimes these pressures are not even from people, they are self-inflicted. I remember as a young child, I used to have this mindset that, oh, at this particular age, I want to be married. At this particular age, I should have finished school. At this particular, my dear, the time I thought I was going to finish school, as at that time, I had not even gotten admission into school. I was still in my father's house, and then there was a lot of pressure, like, when am I going to finish this school? I got to school and I realized that there were people that got admission that were already in their final year when I got to 100 level. I still graduated before them because they kept having an extra year and extra year. Some did not even graduate. And even the people that I was thinking that, oh, these people have have gone beyond me, has gone past me. I finished school and I got better jobs than they did at first. And honestly, there were people that got better job than I did as well, right? And there are people that are better placed in life than I am right now. So the timetable is everybody has their season, everybody has what is going on for them, and it's okay. We're all different, and things are going to happen differently for us. But you need to understand that the pressure that you are having. Sometimes there was a time in my life when I started reminding myself that some people are doing better because they had more better, they had a head start. I tell myself that, okay, this person probably had a better head start than I did. If I had the same opportunity that
Mm,
this person had,
mm.
maybe I would have been somewhere better, or
True, true,
on the same place where this person is. And
true.
that's not to say that I cannot even become, because there are people that started even worse than I did and are even still doing better. But you need to understand that we are all different. Our
Yeah.
exposures are different. Our experiences are different. Well, not some of us have been in Nigeria all our life, and our experiences are different as well. So you need to understand that there are a lot of factors that can
Yeah.
actually determine where you are at the time and what happens. The important thing is to just make sure that you are doing something that can better your life at every single time. Put in the effort, right? Put in the effort, try to meet people, try to expose yourself, try to work on your goals, on your passion, and your take away fear, and just go ahead and do what you need to do. Because you see this pressure thing, if you want to give into pressure, you will be pressured your entire life, because there's always something to pressure you. A friend, I don't know if I should be saying this, but a friend just sent me a video today of them traveling out of the country and jumping down from parachutes. And the only thing I answered was, now, wow, which kind of thing is this? If you want to be pressured, you'll be pressured. You see, let me tell you, single people used to say, oh, God, when I'm single. Even as a married person, you will see some people's married and you'll be asking yourself, God, when? You will ask yourself, God,
True.
because see, if you want to be pressured, there are a lot of things to pressure you. You'll be pressured. Just focus on what you are doing. Yes, it's okay to admire what another person has. Oh, me, I admire good things. So if I see somebody rising and somebody growing, I always tell myself that I'm going to get to this point someday in my life. I'm going to supersede this, and I work towards it. It's okay to be in that place where you see things and you desire to be there, but don't put yourself in that place that I feel like, oh, you're worthless. Remember, where you are right now, once upon a time, was somewhere you have always dreamt of being. Once upon a time, where you
Mm,
are now was something that you dreamt of. When am I going to be this? And now you are there. And it's very easy for you to forget about the positive things that are going on in your life and focus on what you don't have or the things that are not working. Sometimes sit down and just ask yourself, just be grateful for the little things that you have. Be grateful for where you are. Be
true,
grateful for what
true.
you have achieved. And just count your blessings, basically. That's the simplest way I can say. Just sit down and count all the positive things that are going on in your life. There's one task I usually give my clients. I'll tell them to, write 10 things that you're grateful for, or just write 10 things that you think are happening for you right now. Sometimes when you sit
Mhm.
down and take stock of those things, you might just realize that you've been worrying so much over nothing and you have actually achieved a lot in life. Right.
Thank you so much, Gloria. You are so correct. It's just like this Priscilla wedding that just happened on social media. Like it was
Oh,
everywhere. And there was nothing
yeah.
that some of my friends did not say.
Oh, I
So
mean,
it
that
was
girl
so
wore,
funny
she
that
wore, how many, was it not 23 outfits?
I'm
Like, in my
telling
mind,
you.
I'm like, what? But that's the truth. Just do you and
Mhm.
leave people alone, because people will
Do
still do
you?
what they can. Just do what you can, you know, and all that. It's okay. Those things are good. When you see the good
Yeah.
things, appreciate them, right?
Yeah.
But don't let it get to you and begin to overwhelm you. That's how people get themselves into trouble, into doing things that they are not supposed to do, because that need or that drive, that need to want to be like every other person. Do what you can. If you feel like where you are is not where you want to be, go ahead and work on yourself. It's okay. Do what you can do. You develop yourself. Meet people. Do what you can do within your power, but just be grateful for the things that you have. Right.
All right. Thank you so much, Gloria. It's been an amazing session because personally for me, I've actually learned a lot and I've picked one or two things. I mean, there are seasons in life and there's no
Mhm.
hurry. Just take it one step at a time. So we are about rounding up. So I don't know what are the practical ways that you think you can just list out a few things that people can just manage stress, because as much as we try, most times we cannot avoid stress. It will always come. But I believe we can train our mind on how to manage stress. So please, can you just list out some simple steps that you think we can take to actually manage stress?
Simple things. The first one is use your breath. I like to say use your
Hmm.
breath because you always have your breath with you. Take a deep breath. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed, so not all the time. Sometimes what is stressing you might be something that's physical, might be work, might be taking care of children, balancing life, business and all. Sometimes, but sometimes your stressors can be psychological, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it starts with your breath, because you would always have your breath with you. And when I say starting with your breath is taking a deep breath, sometimes just pause and take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath, fill your tummy with air and just let it out and just tell yourself to be calm. Let's start from there. And then you can now sit down and ask yourself, what are stressing me? What are my stressors? So ask yourself, what are my stressors? Your stressors, are they real stressors? Are they physical things that you can see? Or are they imagined stressors? Because sometimes what stresses us is just what we're thinking, what we're filling our mind with. We fill our mind with so much what ifs, what ifs. You know, sometimes I sit down with people and I have conversations with them, and I'm wondering, how did your mind go to this particular thing? And some people call themselves overthinkers. I say, oh, I'm an overthinker. And you're just thinking about terrible things and you're just overwhelming yourself with a lot of stressful things. Ask yourself, what is stressing me? The things that are stressing you, are they things that you can control? If there are things that you can control, fantastic. What can you do to change them? What can you do? What little effort can you make towards changing that thing that is within your control that is actually causing you stress? Does it require you to delegate? Maybe it's work. Is it something you can delegate to someone else to do? Is it something that you need to, get help for? Like literally pay somebody to do for you? Is it something you can do like that? Is it something that you need to cut off of your life? Because sometime at the beginning of this year, I literally just cut myself off. I removed myself from some WhatsApp groups. And so people were reaching out to me, yeah, what's the problem? I tell them, see, don't be angry. I'm sorry. I cannot cope. Because sometimes, because of our goodwill, sometimes I call my goodwill, I say, oh, I want to volunteer in this, I want to volunteer in that. At the end of the day, you find that you have failed yourself with so many activities and it has beginning to cause some form of burnout. I had to excuse myself and say, please, I'm sorry. After leaving the video, reach out, the admin will reach out, why did you? I said, please, I'm sorry. I can't handle this for now. Please give me some time. A lot is going on in my life. I need some time to face some other things that are important. So you might need to get out of some of these associations, some of the things that are actually taking your time, taking your money, taking your energy. You might need to separate. Ask yourself which of this is more important and focus on what is important and let go of the rest. You might need to do that, cut down on things. You might need to plan better because sometimes what causes us to be burnt out is procrastination. The things that are important to you, you procrastinate them, you push them forward and push them forward. At the end of the day, everything is clustered together, and then you are now overwhelmed because you can no longer handle all of it. So you might need to prioritize. You might need to prioritize yourself and stop procrastinating on things. Right? Do the things that are important and make sure not to push them to the next day. So ask yourself those questions. Then, if there are things that are beyond your control, like our our dear president is the president of Nigeria, and many Nigerians are overwhelmed by it, and they're making a lot of
Yes,
comments. I am
we
this.
have no
You're not
control
your
over
friend.
it.
There is nothing you can do about it. That man is
So,
already the president and going to be the president for the next 4 years. At least if we do not re-elect him, at least for now, really.
exactly, exactly.
You know that this situation has come to stay. What can you do? Are you going to spend the next 4 years, or are you going to spend the whole 4 years crying and lamenting about something that you cannot change?
That's
Or are you
true.
going to look for other opportunities or ways to make things better for yourself? Right? So think about the things. There's certain things in your life that you cannot control. You cannot change anybody. So if it's human being that you're trying to change, you may not be able to change them. You might need to find a way around it. So there are certain things that you cannot control. There are certain things that you can control. You need to know what those things are. So sit down by yourself and list out what are the things that are stressing me. So out of all these things that are stressing me, what are the ones that I have control over? What are the ones that I don't have control over? Now, the ones that you have control over, what can I do to solve this problem? This is where this problem is. How can I solve it? Then the ones that you cannot control, what can you do differently that would help you to actually
To
manage
control.
that situation? But trust me, managing your stress level is your responsibility. Nobody's going to do it for you. You're going to literally have to do it by yourself, right? So take it one step at a time, and be intentional about your stressors and solving your stress. And if it gets really overwhelming and you need somebody to sit down, because sometimes you might need somebody to also sit down with you and walk with you through the process of decluttering your life, please reach out to a therapist, reach out to a professional. That's why the Amani Health Clinic is here for you, so that you can talk to a licensed and trained therapists that can help you walk through this process. But you literally do not necessarily have to go through this on your own. So reach out, to use the people around you, and I'm sure that you'll get a headway from there.
Thank you so much, Gloria. It's been a very beautiful session, and I'm sure that those who are watching have actually learned one or two things today. Thank you for taking out time to like dissect it, and I hope that we leave here with something. So it's 8 o'clock already, and we have come to the end of this live session. Thank you for everyone that joined. Thank you, Gloria. Do enjoy the rest of your day,
Thank you,
ma.
Jemima. All right.
Thank you. Have a
Take care.
wonderful day ahead.
Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah. Mhm.